So I posted the recap in the Discord, so you should be able to see it. If you have one, that's fine. If not, I can. No, you're good. you probably can't hear me. There we go. Hey everyone, welcome to the Weird Knobs stream. Thank you for joining us.
All right, hey guys, we got 5 seconds. So 5,
Friday evening. I've had a very nice week. It's been very fun. I'm ready to hang out with my bros. Talk about some Warhammer. Talk about what's
Hey
coming up.
everyone,
So
welcome.
That's right. Austin FC. We got a match tonight.
Hey
against
everyone,
LA.
welcome to the
Hopefully going to
Weird
take them
Knobs
down. Don't you worry.
stream. Thank you for joining
So,
us. It is August 26th.
Just kind of a head overview
Friday
of
evening.
what's happening
I've had a very
today.
nice
We're going to
week.
talk
It's been very
about
fun.
the
Ready to hang out with my bros. Talk about some Warhammer. Talk about what's coming up.
Excuse me. Hey,
So,
Coach. Welcome.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Austin
as far
FC, we got
as
a
the
match tonight against
someone's
LA.
bleeding audio.
Hopefully going to take them down. Don't you worry. So, just kind of a head overview of what's happening today. We're going to talk about the...
This is repeating.
Oops, excuse me. Hey, Coach. Welcome. So, as far as the... Someone's bleeding audio. Oh, is that me? Can you still hear me? Well, yeah, you can hear me, but can they hear me? I wonder... Can y'all hear me now? I mean, yeah, they say it's repeating, but can they hear me from this? Let's see. Unhide all. Oh, okay, yeah, so you should be able to hear me. Doug, can you give me a thumbs up or an image? Still a double feed. Is there still a double feed now? Because there shouldn't be.
Yeah, I was going to say I just put on the stream, Spencer. There's some weird stuff coming out of your audio. Can hear you, but it's not clear. Works out.
Anyways, we had a nice little tournament. We went down to San Antonio just the last couple weekends and just had a good game. We basically went down and joined our brothers in arms, the Sons of Slambo, in a nice little local tournament. It was actually very large. Went to a new venue, which is Battle Pub Games. Fantastic location. They had beer, plenty of tables, lots of space. So we had a good time there. We had, I believe, 26 players at this little one-day event. Basically, three rounds, played some games, had a good time with the Slam Bros, and just basically rolled some dice. It's good stuff. So we ended up basically doing pretty well at the tournament. We had a couple good missions. We did what Eli. The missions were
in order. They were Prize of Gillet, Mighty and the Cunning, and Silk Steel Nests.
So we had some good missions, a couple missions you don't see played very often. So as we kind of see on the board here, like I played 3 games. I actually drew Eli, Jeff, and Spencer. So just kind of going in how we went those. Eli, how'd your games go?
Games were fun. I was trying out a brand new army for the first time. I borrowed Jeff's Blades of Corn army and wanted to Scar brand it up, give myself a break from lizards for like a week or so. And it was a blast. I went 1 and 2, but I also drew you playing Gargants and then shooty rats. And Scarbrand doesn't like missiles.
Absolutely, you had a tough first game. Like when they basically making the pairings when they were letting those go. I originally drew Matt Robish, which anyone in the Weird Knobs knows that's not what you want to do for your first match. And they kind of corrected a few things. I ended up drawing Eli. But I took a 3 Gargant and Incarnate list. So I had 3 Gatebreakers, the Incarnate. Really strong list, plays very well. It does one thing really well, and that's Smash. And how'd our game go, Eli?
You took out my Corn Demon Prince, top of 1, and was able to just engage my entire army. However, I did get the moral victory. And the coach, if I remember correctly, you play Corn. You'll be proud of this. I charged the Skull Cannon in the hero phase with Blood Tithe to deny a battle tactic. I rolled a 4 on the charge. Initially, I thought I missed it because I thought it was 5 inches away. Turns out I was 4.5. So I just barely made it in. It was a lot of fun. And then Scarbrand took down 2 megas on the way out.
Yeah, Scarbrand definitely came in swinging, knocked down a couple of Gargants. You were the only one to maybe drop a battle tactic that weekend, so congratulations on that.
And then the Incarnate ate Scarbrand's lunch.
As per usual.
It was a very bloody mess. I'm sure Corn was very pleased.
But it was a good game. We had a great time. And then how the rest of your games go?
Game 2, I drew. I believe his name was Zach. He was playing Lumineth. He was doing Cow Elves. Mad respect. He was a guy. He told me he was coming back into Sigmar, so it was very fun. I felt a little bad because I was running Scarbrand. That's kind of not who you want to run into when you're first joining the army, and you're like, haha, here's 32 mortal wounds, and that's kind of what I did too. I was like, I'm gonna explain everything to you, just how this works. He's gonna do a bunch of mortal wounds, then he might die, but and if he doesn't do mortal wounds, he's gonna die. So that's just how it's gonna happen. And I charged Scarbrand into a bunch of Stone Guard. I took out 2 Stone Mages in one go and basically wiped out half his army in a double turn. And his Cow Elves were forced to retreat to a corner, and eventually I caught up with him with all of his stuff.
That was his first encounter with Khorne too, wasn't it?
Yes, just in general.
Like,
And that was the game that I rolled the double sixes on the same activation. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
I think the whole
Yeah.
venue heard you basically yell "Blood for the Blood God" when you rolled that.
yeah, that game, I have never seen you so happy at a tournament. That was great.
I shouted for Jeff because I was just like, look, I did the thing.
Yeah,
But props to your opponent for bringing Cow Elves. Like, we don't see that particular temple coming in. Normally we see basically Sentinels and Wardens, but he decided to take something a little bit different. I respect him for that.
Yeah, he's a champion. That's kind of the stuff that he liked. I was telling him some of the rumors I'd heard, and he seems to be very excited that supposedly Cow Elves are getting a buff, which is nice. And hope to see him around again. He was a great sport, great guy. And then in my third round, I drew Skaven against our buddy Chris Carlisle up here in Austin. He was running a smattering of units, some Eshin, some Eshin Molder mix with Thankful, and his whole thing was just like bomb, teleport rat ogres, charge in, do a bunch of shooting stuff. I did as much anti-magic as I could, but it wasn't enough, and he just shot me down in my deployment zone. Too many objectives for me to cover. He had way better board coverage than I did, and just was able to keep me down before I could really impact the game. It was a fun game though. He was getting frustrated at my anti-magic stuff, although one of his spells wasn't even my fault. I think it was the teleport on top of one. He like failed it, re-rolled into another fail, and it was just like really frustrating. And then he didn't and then he managed to cast through all my debuffs.
So
And
what was
if you
more
do that, it's
frustrating?
great.
Like him having to deal with your anti-magic, or you getting shot off the board?
It's funny because I've done both with different armies now. I think getting shot off the board when you don't have a counter is more frustrating.
Yeah.
Because at least if you get magicked off, then something happens. Or at least if your magic gets stopped, then you have other ways of impacting the game. But if you don't have a way of protecting yourself against shooting, getting shot off the board was just, before I could even impact the game, was way more frustrating.
I'd definitely say there's probably a little more interaction with the anti-magic side because you still have to roll dice to see if that's going in. If you roll 12, well, magic more likely is still going off.
Yeah, there's a chance to really break through that, but sometimes you just can't cover the distance between long-range shooting and you getting there, especially with some of the movement that Skaven has. Like, Chris had Launch on to have Thankful just move across the board. So 28 inches movement horizontally gets you really far. And being able to teleport through the knotholes, he had all the stuff where he wanted it to be. It was really well played by Chris.
Yeah, everybody loves a bringy dingy.
Thankful Surfboard is just the best thing.
Thankful surfboard. That's even better. I like that.
That's a conversion idea I have that just like is a surfboard that's just big enough for Thankful to actually ride on it.
All I can think of
Yes,
is
Beach bod bone ripper,
Yeah, exactly.
fake spray tan and all. Love it.
all I
It
can
was
So-
fun. I ended up finishing the tournament 1 and 2, and it was a blast. Scarbrand did Scarbrand things in every game, and that's really all I wanted.
It was really well painted too. I gotta say. Nice
Yeah.
army.
It's almost like you're a good painter or something.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Fantastic. So, Jeff, you end up being my second matchup. How did your games go?
So first game I played Nina. Nina's an amazing painter. She won Best Painted. She is there more for the hobby. That game, I think, Mortal Wound wise output. I was playing Curlboys. I just spiked everything, and like she was playing her converted Deepkin, and I blew her off the board like by the bottom of 2. Like just Mortal Wounds just went off like crazy. So that game, that was fun. It was a fun game, but it just wasn't super competitive. Game 2, I drew you, Brian, and we got to play what is it, the Mighty and the Cunning.
Mighty and the Cunning.
Yeah, you were the Mighty, I was the Cunning, and
if I could
yeah.
rip that map out of the GHB and throw it into the sun, I would.
that map is. I didn't play that one before. That was my first go at that mission, and one's good. I don't want to ever play that mission again.
Yeah, it was especially problematic. It basically forced you in the middle of the board. I had no Galatian veterans. You had no ability to score any extra points. But you yourself, you were basically a smorgasbord of extra VP for me to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think I set up the way I should have. Like, and I wasn't like the Curlboys are not where they need to be like a super competitive army. But like, I think that list I have now could sort of work, but like that mission, it was just I was like, I'm gonna lose this game, but it should be close. And then we get up and we look at the draw, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a foregone conclusion. I'm smoked.
I mean, it looked like turn 1, like you stepped the terrain away that was allowing you to really control a couple lanes. You're able to funnel me in appropriately. You basically had good board control. And then turn 2 rolled around. I killed a couple of Galatian veterans, took the points, and scored 17.
Yeah.
So it's at that point the game was over. We still played it out. You did manage to kill a Mega Gargant, but with the unlucky double turn, like I pretty much cleared you off the board.
Yeah. The highlight of that game was using Suffocating Gravetide on my own unit of Hobgrots, trying to kill them so I don't give up 3 VP.
Absolutely.
Which was kind of hysterical. But
this is the big brain tactics.
Yeah, that was the highlight of that game. Like, I need to kill my own unit so I don't lose another 3 VP. So yeah, that game was rough.
Truly kind of a brutal of you there, Jeff.
Yeah. And then Corn would have been pleased. I mean, for sure. And then last game I played Jimmy Sides. He was playing Bone Splitters. He didn't run the legal list. I think he had Big Drog and he had an Incarnate in the same list.
Yes.
But never played that. I've seen like the Tom Gone version of Bone Splitters, what all the big stab is. Never played the Porkine version, and did not respect how fast that army is at all. Gave him the turn. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, like everything is. This is like Iron Jaws-esque. Everything is in my grill, and he locks me up turn 1. I'm like, yeah, I could probably weather this. Gets his Incarnate out. Like I have like screens in place. I'm doing okay. And then he rolls an 11 on the Incarnate charge. He spikes the Sludge Raker, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the game. And he wrecked me. He owed me big time too. Last couple games I've had him pretty good, and he gave me a whooping, and I deserved it. He needed it. He needed to win that game. But yeah, so I finished out 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's always good to see.
So good, man.
It's always good to see Bone Splitters come out, like they're a little underrepresented. And he did technically have an illegal list. We talked about it. He was under the impression that because the Incarnate's not technically an ally, but it does take your ally slot, there's a couple of weird rules that went into play that just didn't make it a good list. But he had fun. He got the approval. Like it didn't really affect things too much. So sometimes it's about the fun.
Yeah, that too, and it is an app problem. I mean, the app does let you get away with it. So, I mean,
I was gonna say, I think the problem is that the rule is in the Thondia book and not in the app.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, it lets you create the list, and that's
not
Jimmy's fault.
The Gargant mercenary as Gargant as a mercenary takes off your mercenary as your ally slots, and then there's one little paragraph right at the beginning of the rules for the Incarnate that claims it as an allied unit. So that's where that just didn't work, unfortunately. But we talked about it. It's an awesome mistake. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask. Doesn't that taking him? Doesn't that like you burn a command point too first turn? You lose one.
As a mercenary, yes. Yeah. He would not get the general command point.
That's right. I don't think we did that, but it did not matter.
Like, it seems like a super fun list. It almost makes me sad it's not match play legal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It took me like I said, I did not expect them to be that fast, and yeah, I got dumpstered. I deserved
Well,
it.
and there's still fun things you can do with that. Maybe not a Mega Gargant, but you can still take Kragnos and Incarnate, and that I think is a list that kind of have me thinking like, can I get some more pigs? Like that might be an interesting list.
I was gonna say I played Marco Hernandez here, fellow Weird Not before, and he ran just a ton of Boar Boys and Kragnos, and he ate my lunch with it because he ran an Icebone. It was just volume of attacks, as many try to get as many wound rolls as possible so that he can roll as many sixes and do mortal wounds as he can.
Who did you play?
Kragnos getting like 8 units of Boar Boys into your line because you get the 3d6 charge. It's pretty good.
But who's this person you played?
Oh, his name's Marco. He's one of the outside guys. He doesn't really know many people in the club. He's kind of new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he really only comes to GTs. He doesn't have much time for anything else.
Okay. Cool. Hopefully, I get to throw some dice with that guy soon. Seems like a cool guy.
He's pretty neat. He buys you a beer when he kicks your ass. So, plus.
Yeah,
I believe he owes like
that's a
most
good
of the
thing.
community a beer at this point.
Let's
Ooh, yeah.
not get into that, Brian. We're not going to bring that part up. Don't worry, I'm gonna talk with Eli and Marco about that for Hammerfest. So see what we can do.
We owe people like keg levels.
Yeah, I was like, we may just try to buy a keg from the.
Just bring a keg.
No, don't bring a keg. Buy a keg. I don't
buy a keg.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
Schedule a delivery.
But yeah, so Jeff, you had a good game. You had some good games. How'd you end up at the end of it?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Fantastic. So as far as like your list, like how did Cruel Boys play out? Like what do you think they were missing in these sort of matchups?
So
Is it a matter of output or?
I mean, the problem is they just can't take a punch at all. Like the way that I have the list now, I got 6 Bolt Boys, I got a 20 Gut Rippers, a unit of 10, 2 units of Grots, the Sludge Raker, 2 Swamp Collars, and Fungoid, and then Rippers. So like the way that it's designed, it does move out. So like one of the big problems is with that army is it's basically just a castle. So you do with Rippers lets it move out. And I do have the Trogbro too. And then you can super sneaky something out, and then it lets you get out on the board. I mean, the problem is like, Gut Rippers are they're expensive, probably too expensive, and they're Galatian veterans. And when your base battle line, like your best save in your army is a 5-up, and then you're worried they died before this GHB. Now with this GHB, they just get trounced. Like they don't have much of a prayer. So I mean, I really think it can work, but I'm not gonna have it painted in time for Hammerfest, so I'm gonna switch gears. But yeah, I think it could work, but I think Cruel Boys need a little bit of help. And they had that Vince talked about it on Warhammer Weekly recently. They had a whole show on it. They need some help.
That's kind of what we're seeing with Warclans in general. It's one of the first books, and it's definitely showing its age compared to some of the more refined books. But what can you do?
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, Stormcast and Oryx are probably the 2 worst books, and I mean those are your pre 3rd edition books, so it's not really that surprising. But hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they've been releasing stuff pretty quick, so hopefully we get something good.
Absolutely. So Spencer, how'd your games go?
Yeah, so I had 3 really, really fun games. So I had 3 really fun games. I took Seraphon Thunder Lizards for the first time. I've been avoiding it and had a hankering to push around some big dumb dinos, and that's just what I did. I had talked some trash with one of our friends, Carlson, down from San Antonio, and ended up with a nice little grudge round 1. He brought a very fun list. Yeah, right. Very fun list of 60 Witch Elves, 20 Sisters of Slaughter, Marathi, just a little, or no Morathi, two cauldrons, two hag queens, or an assortment of little things for me to eat at. And so at the end of when we were done, realized that we played the entire mission wrong. So it was the Prize of Galay, and you're supposed to activate objectives. We were just like, fuck it, full bore, full send. we just straight up forgot. We were like, okay, that's easy, fine, and we just forgot that was a thing. So it wasn't, but we both messed up, so it ended up being fine. But
Did you win?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it was all good.
Yeah, I mean, so we were in the battle pub. There was definitely some beers probably involved. Your list had some interesting tech that we don't typically see in Thunder Lizards. What did you do?
Yeah. So took two little steggies as my battle line and bounty hunters, which extra nice little tick of damage for all the weapons on a stegodon into GV. Really nice. I took a Slan, which is normal, but I took Purple Sun so that I could get an extra tick of rend. So the one area that Seraphon have issues with, and it feels silly saying this, but they're max rend 1 for my army, and there are other things to do to try to mitigate that, but Purple Sun was this is an easy option, and in my list I said Purple Fun, it's for the rend, I swear. And Carlson made me, forced me, called me really mean names, forced me to roll for for his two cauldrons and his hag queen that were right there. And I took out his general, which was a Medusa on that, and it was like buffed, ready to go in, and I was just like, no. no, thank you. No, thanks.
Oh.
But yeah, so with that combined with the little extra rend, really helped push through a lot of damage. And then I had a Skink Chief on Stegodon with Prime War Beast, so all of the mount gets an extra attack. And I had Sunfire Throwers, so I was rolling 2d6 for each model in the target unit whenever I shot it. And if you have 30 Witch Elves running in, charging, and I Overwatch, well, it's like I do mortals on 5-ups. I rolled, it was just under 30 in the unit, so I rolled, I think, 50 some odd dice and spiked it and lifted about 20 Witch Elves from that. And then subsequently went right into the Sisters of Slaughter, and it was a bloodbath. Kane would have been proud. So
yeah, dinos are bloody, man.
Yeah,
they're bloodthirsty.
Dinos are bloody. So overall, it was a really, really fun game, and yeah, it was a lot of fun being able to push around some dinos. Round 2, I played Swanger, who was running KO, and we played Mighty and the Cunning. It was going to be a rough game. You didn't have Warp Lightning Vortex, which I was worried about, but I mean, the one way to neuter a Thunder Lizard's list is to shoot off all the heroes. And so I was able to take Defender and put up some terrain and basically hid my Slan behind a giant piece of terrain so he couldn't drop and shoot at him round 1, which was really, really helpful. It didn't particularly help that the Slan then continued to miscast Mystic Shield 3 rounds in a row, but he at least didn't get shot. He did get the purple.
Killing me, Spencer.
I know. He did get the purple sun off, which is the important part.
Okay. Okay, makes up for it.
And I think it popped a gun hauler, which is not fun. But the extra rend helped a lot, and honestly, I used it more for move blocking than anything else. Really, that's one area that Seraphon struggled with against KO. KO can just fly circles around him, and so it's kind of what happened. He was able to move around, but he gave me the top of 1. I put up buffs, pushed stuff out so that he couldn't drop things, and just unload all of his volley guns into my Slan and into the squishy stuff I had. That helped. He took his turn and killed a unit of skinks, with all of his shooting. And then after that, sorry, Eli, you're really loud. I'm gonna mute you. All right. So, oh, that's a really weird buzzing. I don't know where that's coming from now. Weird. Sorry, guys. Anyway, he took the double going into 2, and proceeded to shoot off a single Stegadon. Weathered pretty, 2 full turns of KO shooting, and when I retaliated with my own shooting, I was able to lift a lot of stuff. And so it kind of just cascaded, and then I got the double going into 3, and was able to kind of just clear off the rest of the pieces there. So it was a really, I would say, a rough match for KO, turns out, but overall it was a really, really good match. Swinger was a really enjoyable opponent. We did have some beers, and then we, went right into round 3, where I was looking at the leaderboard, and I was like, well, I'm 2-0. I could go into, I think it was Matt, was, there was a chance I get paired down to Dan. I think there may have been one other person, maybe 2 other people up there. And I get paired into Brian Gargants on a mission of 8 fucking objectives. And I spread out, and he just threw into me. There's nothing that I can do, right? It's just it's a really tough matchup for me, and I did what I could, but hey, you know what? You're gonna have those. So going 2-1, I had hey, welcome to the Das Nation. That's who I think you are. I cannot wait to see you next week.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But 2-1, not bad.
I like the move blocking, and then just casually took out a gun holler.
That's
move blocking.
But I did. Like,
totally using it for move blocking. Yeah, get that thing out of here, please. Totally.
But yeah, so overall it was a phenomenal event. The storefront they have down there at Battle Pub is primo. Like, if you're in the area, if you ever need a place to play during the week, on the weekend, check it out. It is extremely solid. It's a great shop. I can't wait to have more events down there.
Yeah, that's probably where they're gonna host the Slamo GT, actually.
That is where they're hosting Slambo. I've been told it's.
According to Dan, is it fine? Is it finished now? Because when we were there, I asked, and he said maybe.
Yeah. As far as I know, that's where it'll be.
Yeah, Spencer and I talked to the owner. He has big plans for that store. Like, he's opening it up, gonna make. He wants to run like several even just GTs down there. I think it'd be really cool. He's got one where he's thinking about doing like getting together local pubs. I think he called it the bar fight.
Mhm.
But basically, part of your scoring is taking a tour of the pubs, trying the brews. So I mean, I can't fault a GT that where some of your points are involved, like sampling Texas beer. So what can you say?
Nice. Hopefully they don't do like a taco sampling though, because that would not go over well.
But still, I mean, you got to nerf Weird Knobs somehow. We did really well in the tournament. I think we took the top 3 places. I took first. I dropped 1 battle tactic the entire match, scored max points. Matt Robish got second, and then I beat up my buddies. I went down, didn't want to play any of the Slambo guys. I just ended up beating up my friends. So thank you guys for being good sports. Well, this is it's rough.
But hey,
and the missions were.
We still let you ride home. That's the important part.
That's true. That's true. You made me pick the place to eat afterwards, which was a disaster. But everything went well.
We went. So the one that we went to wasn't bad. Yours was a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
Yeah, we waited an hour and
We'll
never got sat.
Yeah.
You went in. Oh god, we drove up and we're like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're being seated. Like, we're good.
We caught y'all
sorry.
we caught y'all on 35 on the way back because we were like, we're done. Like, and we left, and so we drove by y'all for a little bit. Yeah, that's how bad it was, because we just left and then immediately swung around.
Did y'all eat?
Yeah, we stopped at Mama Margie's. One of our buddies, Isaac, recommended it, and it was a very like nice little quick Tex-Mex spot. It's a counter service, and
They were good.
yeah, it's good food. There was a group louder than us, which was surprising. So, you know,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do they play AOS too? Like we could
no,
need to get those guys.
there were a bunch of half drunk parents from a youth's baseball team, which is
Oh, okay.
you know normal Texas stuff.
Yeah, I've been there. Awesome.
Hey, Doug, do you watch what you say to me? I won't find that shirt. All right.
So this is a great event. I look forward to going back to that venue. I think the owner really cares about hobbyists in general. Like it was really cool to see that we had a full 26-man tournament. But there's also Twilight Imperium going on. I saw Flames of War, and then just random other games going on. I think they also had like a Magic the Gathering tournament going on at the end. So it was really interesting to see like a store that basically embraces multiple communities. That was really good.
Yeah, the funny part was we didn't have a sideboard because the tables, like, they had so many people there, and Dan Norris is like, I don't know if this is gonna work for the Sambo GT, and the owner's like right there, and he's like, I'm knocking this wall down and adding 42 tables. So we're like, oh yeah, okay, that's enough room. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, cool store, like great venue, and hell, like any place that has 42 tables where you can play. Just super cool, and they're gonna have like a dedicated streaming room from what I heard. So when we're signing up for the stream, it should go pretty well. So that'll be fun.
Good beer, great space.
Yep.
Couldn't ask for more fun for a Saturday.
And all Texas beers, like he's very fiercely loyal to local stuff, so he had some good stuff going. So with that, I think we have an announcement.
The announcement is that we are actually going to be consistently streaming now. We finally put together a schedule that our own personal lives have kind of settled a little bit from the last couple of months. Starting next week, we're going to be trying to stream every other weekend, probably either a Friday night or a Saturday night that we would like to announce basically at the top of the month. And that is in addition to any GTs we are going to stream, which right now we are committed to 2 GTs. We're going to be streaming Hammerfest, September 17th and 18th out of Houston, Texas. And then we're going to be streaming Slambo, November 5th and 6th out of San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be a really fun time. So if you've liked what we've done in the past, stay tuned because there's only going to be more coming. Next week, specifically, we are going to have 2 games playing because Brian over here is going to be casting Hammerfest.
It's not
and
next
he's going
week.
to have.
It's
not
week
next week?
after. It's the week after. It's the
It's
9th.
been the 10th.
Yeah, the weekend of the
It's
9th.
in 2 weeks, everybody. Sorry, the school year just started again, and now the calendar is one big blob for me. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be streaming a couple of games. I believe we're doing it on the 10th, the Saturday. Is that right, guys? It is the 10th.
Yep.
On the Saturday. We will have an exact time for you soon. If you want to keep track of that stuff, we will announce them primarily on our Twitter page at Weird Knobs.
Yeah, we'll have them on Twitter. We will also have them on the schedule down below on Twitch. I finally get to do this and say, check the doobly-doo.
Check the doobly-doo?
Check the doobly-doo. It's a nice little shout out to Matt Koval. But yeah,
And if you're not following the Weird Knobs, if you happen to be following either like Jeff, Spencer, or myself, Brian, I don't know how active on Twitter you are, but I know you have a Twitter account.
I do. have
A
Twitter.
lot of us likely will be retweeting it from there. So if you're following any of us, like you're probably gonna see it because we'll have the news going out into forever.
Yeah, and then basically the format that we're gonna do is we want to do games, and then we'll do like a hobby hangout, and then we'll just basically alternate. But yeah, things are getting settled, and we've had a lot of really good response from people, so we're really happy with that. And
Which we
yeah,
appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. Every person that's ever left a comment, thank you. Every person who's come up to me at a GT, not in the recent months, and been like, "You guys are doing great. Keep it up. When are you doing more?" Like, thanks. We want to.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this allows us to do as much as we'd like.
Yep.
We feel like every 2 weeks is a great schedule for us, not only with doing this, but also just with the rest of our lives, because this is a hobby for us. This is not a job. We do it because we love it, not necessarily because we want to make money.
And so, like Eli and Jeff mentioned, we will be doing basically 2 streams a month that are dedicated. So we'll have one game stream, and I think we have some cool plans to not make it just competitive. I know Brian has a castle in mind, so to speak. So maybe try to get some really cool narrative stuff going as well. And I mean, there's then the question of, well, what about Masters events, right? So if we have any sort of outside events, if it Masters, if it's a particular GT that we happen to be at and can stream, we will stream in addition. So we're going to be bringing you Hammerfest, which starts September 17th. And we are working to also stream Slambo GT in November. And so I'm going to switch over to show you this.
Events for the year.
I
Like we
couldn't
said,
hear
we've
you
already
either.
mentioned. What the?
Here, I got it. I hold on. I can do this. I'm an adult. I promise. Here. Here we go. All right. There. I'm just putting it over our
Oh,
faces.
because it's playing the music in the background.
Yeah, but it's no longer there. So now we're back to normal. So
Ah.
all right.
We are
so,
not professionals, folks.
Hey, you know what?
We're so professional,
fine.
everybody.
Hey, there we go. So now you can't see our faces. But we do have Hammerfest, which is going to be the 17th and 18th in Houston. We'll have Slambo, which is the 5th and the 6th in San Antonio. In addition, there's going to be Lone Star GT in February, and our own Smash and Bash GT 2023, which is in April in Austin, Texas. If you are able to, please come down. We'd love to have you. Let me know you're coming, and I will buy you a beer. And it looks like Das Nation's going to be there for Hammerfest, Lone Star, and Smash. This dude travels.
Is that who I think it is?
Oh, it's who
It
you
is
think
exactly
it
who
is.
you think it is.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
Now, speaking of
My
traveling,
favorite little
he's
Deadpool
not.
friend.
So, Derek, I need you to make triple sure that you have all of these dates in your calendar as expected, because if I find out that you booked the hotel for the week before and a plane ticket for the week before the event because you misread, and your question of why is the list submission partway during the event will have words. But you made it. You're gonna make it. It's fine. Everything's okay.
I'm so jealous.
It's fine. Everything's
I
okay.
wish it was going.
Honestly, you get me in a cardboard cutout, I'll carry you around.
You have the shirt.
I will
You
wear
wear
the
the
shirt for
shirt.
you. There we go. Yeah. So, but yeah. So next week is Nova. I'm shipping off to Nova. I'm gonna have a fun little Thunder Lizard list I'm taking with me. Gonna have a little Skink Starseer. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what's coming up for me. Eli, you got any big projects coming up for Hammerfest?
For Hammerfest, my list is already painted. It's been a list I've been tinkering out with since the start of third edition. Or not third edition, with the new GHB, with bounty hunters being a thing. I like the 2 Stegodon build. I also like 10 knights and bounty hunters, so I've been going with a Galatian veteran list build that just goes in and slaps the shit out of people. And it's fun. It's really different because it doesn't castle up as much as we saw Thunder Lizard's builds for the last year. It actually projects a lot of forward movement, and as long as I'm not too aggressive with my knights, I can usually keep them around enough to last an impact, to have a good hit on something before they half of them die. It's got a lot of punch. Right now, I'm trying to finalize what prayers I want to use, because for a while I've been using heal on my Engine of the Gods and
Curse.
guidance on my regular priests. And I tried a game against Derek, funny enough, on TTS earlier this week, and I did curse on the Engine of the Gods and heal on the priest. Now, the priest died before it could really be relevant, but the Engine of the Gods did curse a Maw Crusher and allowed me to deal the final blow in shooting before I charged.
Hell yeah.
And it was and honestly being able to just get that final amount onto bigger, higher armored stuff, because like you mentioned earlier, Spencer, the lack of rend is a problem. I think that's worth doing because if I need to heal my monsters, I've got the 2d6 Cosmic Engine roll pretty regularly. So that's really the final build. But otherwise, my typical list is a bunch of big dinos. I got 10 Knights, 2 Stags, Engine of the Gods, Bastillodon, and then support cast Slan and some Star Priests, and a Scarvet on Cold One, which everyone's always like, "What? That's a hero?" And I'm like, "Yeah, his job is to just carry the artifact. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It does mortal wounds. It'll probably break. It's fine."
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It plays the melee game a lot better than some of the lists I've played in the past with Seraphon, which I really like. I've had a lot of success with it so far. I think I've lost 2 games with it so far.
Yeah. And you're
To Nighthaunt and to what was the last second one? Shoot, I can't remember. Nighthaunt, Quicksilver Dread was just messed me up, man.
Is this the one you took to the Houston 2-dayer?
Yeah, it's the one that I took the Houston 2-dayer, and
oh, is this the one
Yeah,
that you
with
played against
Unity.
my beasts online?
yes,
Okay.
yep,
Nice.
that's the
Those
same one.
They're knights. Those knights are getting what, 7 attacks each?
7 attacks each, thanks to Coalesced.
Dirty.
Since they got 2 job profiles, they get +2 attacks on their profiles. It's great. Put Hand of Glory on them, and you're just rolling for volume and doing mortal wounds on 6s. It's fantastic. That game against Eric, I ended up beating that Maw Crusher in shooting, but I had like 7 knights lined up, and like 3 of them were into the Maw Crusher, and the other like 4 were into the pigs.
Mhm.
And there was enough attacks that were going through that I was like, I feel like I could have gotten like 2 6s on Curse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And Brian, you're streaming Hammerfest, that's right?
I'm streaming. I'm out of pit grout status, putting on my big boy pants, and I'm gonna be out there streaming with Steven. So I think it'll be an interesting change. We'll see how I do.
You got an upgrade to Grot Grot. That's
Yeah,
cool.
man, I'm now boss grot.
No, he's just Pit. And Jeff, you're
Full pit.
running Blood for the Blood God, Blood for a Blood God, right? So is that
Yeah,
accurate?
absolutely. Always Blood for the Blood God.
There you go.
How can I not?
Hey, there we go.
You know, Jeff, he's gonna bring corn. He's gonna drop Scarbrand. He's gonna do some mortals and something.
Yeah, you know.
Gonna wreck some people.
Yep.
Oh, I remember who the second person I lost to. It was Chris Schelling and his megas.
That's
By
right. That was
1
1 point.
By 1 point, because I picked the wrong grand strategy for my list. But not to discount that game. That game was incredible. It was very tight. I think any mistake in the game, and it could have really turned in either favor. Chris is a great guy.
Cool. And I think that's it. I don't have anything.
What about you,
else.
Spencer? You're going to Nova? What are you doing for Hammerfest?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't know what I'm playing yet. I will leave it at that. I have an inkling. I have an idea. It may not be something of my choice, but at least I get to choose for Hammerfest, and Jeff, someone will
Steven
choose
is
for
spoiling
you.
it for you in chat.
Does anyone else hear Thriller? I hear Thriller.
So someone will choose for you for Slambo, Jeff. Don't worry.
What are you bringing to Nova though, Spencer?
It's gonna be a very similar list. I've got a Skink Starseer, Skink Star Priest, Skink Priest, Engine of the Gods, Skink Chief on Stegodon with the Prime War Beast and the Sunfire Throwers, and I've got I think it's a pretty cool conversion with the old Tenawan model riding on top of a Stegodon, ripping a heart out of a Skaven. Heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is pretty cool.
You did really good at you almost beat Nina, man. Like, you gave her a run for her money.
If I had my Engine of the Gods like actually painted, I think I would have had a shot. Could have gone all the way.
Yeah, you only lost by like a vote. Like, you did really well.
Yeah,
Army looks really good.
Thanks,
So,
man.
too bad you can't play Stormdrake that good though. That's gonna be a problem.
Don't worry about that. But
You started yet?
oh yeah, it's painted gray currently.
You got the
Great
better
paint.
sprue. I don't have the cape or the flaming sword.
I'll
on
trade
mine.
you.
I don't know. I want the downturned wings though.
I want
so
the downturned wings.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I'm good.
Hey, hold on. We have a small little update from Lewis. Thank you, Lewis. We're up 1-0 in the Austin FC match.
Yes, there you go.
Oh heck
Yeah.
yeah, very nice.
It's good to hear. But yeah, so running an Arca Sotec, a Solar Engine, Bastillodon, as well as double Stegodon, Battle Line, and Bounty Hunters, and 10 Skinks because I need extra bodies. So, I'm still
Don't
trying
need
to.
bodies when the opponent is dead, Spencer.
I know. I'm still figuring stuff out,
That's true.
but it's gonna be fun. I have kind of resigned myself to being a 2-3, 3-2 player on a good day at a GT, but I'm gonna have fun. I guarantee you that.
That's pretty tough.
If anyone ever sees me at a
I'm gonna reach
GT,
across the screen.
you see me at a GT, you ask for a beer, you're getting a beer, hands down. Don't worry about it.
What about
Unless
a
you're,
Jello shot?
Jello shot.
if
Jello shots.
if I can discreetly provide Jello shots, I will discreetly provide Jello shots. Unless you are underage, we do not support underage drinking here.
No, not at all.
Well, the one thing though, like just next time, like maybe put a little bit of Jello in the Jello shots.
There was
Little
Jello in the Jello shots.
Like I don't know about that. Like
They're
Don't worry.
gelatinous.
There were
There were
gelatinous.
there was Jello in them. There was an amount. It was
Yeah.
delicious, and it was alcohol filled. I was pretty happy. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe my wife used the words weak sauce and Jello shots, though, Spencer.
Yeah, see? It's fine. But yeah, so Nova should be fun. I've actually got quite a few events coming up. So in addition to Nova, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make Slambo as of right now. Some scheduling stuff.
what?
Well, with the change as far as like when they switch stuff around, I'm working on it. I have a friend group that we're going to Worst Fest that weekend.
How
Now,
dare you?
for those of you who don't know, Worst Fest is a celebration of sausage in New Braunfels, and it's also a beer festival. Now, pros, beer and good food and friendship. Cons, it's the same weekend as Slambo, but it is within driving distance, and I am going to try to figure out if I will ruin my weekend by going to Worst Fest Friday night, coming to Slambo Saturday, Sunday, and then going back to Worst Fest Sunday night.
Either way, Spencer.
Do you remember what I did for Lone Star, Spencer? You
Yeah.
can too.
Yeah, you fucked up. This is what that was.
Either way, you're gonna end up at a sausage fest. Let's be real.
Hey, there you go, Brian.
Whoa.
There's the
Boo.
joke.
Yeah, so we'll see. In addition, there's an event called Everwinter that I'll be going to. It's going to be in Boston. Should be a lot of fun.
Boston.
Same.
You're
Boston.
going to Boston.
Boston.
Shipping up to Boston.
Bash Bros, you're shipping up to Boston.
That's right. Eli and I are going to go kick some teeth in.
Certainly gonna try. Have you seen the
Yeah.
list of attendees for that event so far?
Listen, if we just, I'm not saying we
Winning
try.
record's gonna be a freaking win out of that list.
It's easy, Eli. You give them Jello shots at 8 a.m. and you just constantly feed them Jello shots. It's called subterfuge.
Yeah. Boston during football season.
Big
Oh my
brain.
god, is probably the worst city in the country. It was awful. Good luck.
Thanks. It should be fun. And then heading up to LVO in January.
Nice.
Hope to
Yep.
see some of y'all there.
That's gonna be a blast, especially with the ticket cap having increased. I think it's over 300 now.
Yeah.
Massive FOMO for that one. I want to go to LVO so bad.
We'll take
I also
pictures.
had massive FOMO, and then I decided I didn't want any money.
That's true.
Do I miss the event, or do I not have money? Not having money ended up winning out.
But yeah. Oh, I'm also playing in the team event at Nova next week. So I've got a doubles partner for that. Gonna be rocking some Soul Blight and Seraphon. It's gonna be a ton of
Oh,
fun.
nice.
Oh yeah.
I look forward to hearing your recap.
So
Oh.
who's your teammate?
Ed.
Oh, awesome. That's
Yeah.
great.
I convinced Ed and his wife to fly up for a nice little vacay, so they're
awesome.
they're not terribly far. He's also going to be playing in a Kill Team event, maybe, and maybe not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire. That one.
Mm.
We'll see.
Oh, the nice game that provides good free guild models. Got it.
Yeah,
Giant free guild models. They're out of scale,
They are
but
giant.
that's just
yeah,
we're not
they're,
going to
they're
get
ripped.
into that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a ton of fun. In addition to all of the Weird Knob streams, because you'll see me around. Don't worry. If not on the games, on the hobbies.
Absolutely.
Losing paint competitions. Yeah.
Look, you two better pull through because you've been trash talking each other for like the last 3 months, and I need to see some damn good painted models.
I seriously, what's gonna happen? It's gonna come down to like we're both gonna like paint this thing the night before, like, and like there's all this like pomp and circumstance over nothing. They're gonna be like, you've been talking shit for like 3 months, and you just threw contrast on this, over this friggin' OSL. Like it's
Hey,
gonna be bad.
hey, but we did it together.
We did, yeah. But yeah, it's like everybody's expecting like this like amazingly like crafted model, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows?
Maybe the bet just changes to how badly you can paint this good model.
Yeah, maybe this is
how intentionally badly can these two good painters actually do?
maybe this is a fake sprue. Maybe I'm already had done on my model, Jeff. We'll never know.
Would you waste $60 for a prop like that?
I don't like money. I don't like money. That's exactly it. Yeah, and Steven's right. You don't have to paint it well. You just have to paint it less bad than the other guy.
Yeah,
Easy.
That's fair.
You hit it on the head, Steven.
But yeah, I mean, all that to say, we've got a lot of events coming up. It's going to be a good season of some Warhammer, and we're going to be excited to be a part of that. So excited to bring y'all some streaming games, some hobby stuff, and please keep an eye out for some any updates that we have coming through Weird Knobs on the Twitter. There we go.
Yeah, and
It'll be on
worth
Twitch.
mentioning. I mean, Hammerfest is the start of our third Texas Master season as well. So we'll be doing that. There are some changes to the GT this year. It's going to be ran by committee. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool. Anything else?
Fun.
Any questions?
Anyone in the chat?
All right. I
Always
mean,
gotta wait for that slight little delay for them to actually hear our question.
right.
Did Derek really
Okay, type it.
contrast that whole Lumineth army? The army
No,
looks
he's
amazing.
He's a liar. Dirty liar.
There's no way he contrasted that whole army.
Oh, Lewis, there's
Will there be a wog?
There's always a WA.
Always.
And it could be a Cruel Boys WA. You know, it's a secret WA. It could be a loud Iron Jaws WA. It could be a warding Bone Splitters WA. Or maybe it's just a big ass WA. Because that's what we're known for in Austin.
Big asses?
Big ass WA.
Yeah.
Oh, big
Big
asses.
asses. Well, yeah, I mean,
This
big
will be
asses.
both
dude. Why
brutal
not?
and cunning.
And cunning and brutal.
Derek, if your Lumineth is all contrast, I hate you and I love you because that already looks amazing.
It looks so
And I
pretty.
do.
All right. Well, thanks y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thank y'all for sticking through that little fun audio blip that we had at the beginning. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Twitter at Weird Knobs, Twitch here in the chat, or if you see us in person, be sure to stop us and say hi. Until next time, bye y'all.